All right, we're back again, Chill Pills, with another exam prep calculation example. This one is a little bit more difficult, a lot more information involved, but we'll be able to solve it if we take a breath, work through it, use our formulas, we'll be able to solve it with no problem. So let's go ahead and start. We have a total parenteral nutrition, also known as a TPN order, for a patient that comes in, and you must compound the order. The total volume is to be 1,000 milliliters. How much of each ingredient in this TPN and sterile water is needed to compound the TPN order? We start with our given information for our medication order. We need aminosin, dextrose, KCl, which is potassium chloride, multivitamin, and sodium chloride. We need 5% aminosin, 25% dextrose, 24 milliequivalents of potassium chloride, 5 milliliters of multivitamin, and 24 milliequivalents of sodium chloride. But our dose on hands, our stock doses, are different. What we have is 8.5% aminosin, 50% dextrose, 20 milliliters of potassium chloride, 2 milliequivalents, 10 milliliters of our multivitamin, and 20 milliliters of sodium chloride in our 4.4 milliequivalent. Now, using the formula that we've been using in the past videos, take our total volume divided by our dose on hand, multiply it by the dose ordered by the physician, and that'll give us how many milliliters of our stock dose we need to get our dose ordered. So looking at aminosin, our total volume is 1,000 milliliters of our stock dose. We'll divide that by our percentage of dose on hand as well. Stock dose, 8.5%, times the dose ordered. The physician ordered 5% of aminosin. That equals 588.23 milliliters, but we're only going to round up to the nearest 10th place, 588.2. Now we'll do the same thing for our dextrose. Total volume, 1,000 milliliters. Oh, no, we have 500. 500 milliliters divided by the stock dose on hand, which is 50. Multiply it by the dose ordered, 25, equals 250 milliliters. So we need 250 milliliters of our stock dose of D50. And 588.2 milliliters of our dose of hand of aminosin, 5%. Excuse me, 8.5%. Next, we need to calculate the volumes needed for our additives. Now, in calculating our additives, we will utilize the ratio proportion equation. It is simpler. For potassium, we're going to start with dose on hand, 2 milliequivalent per milliliter. Set it equal to dose ordered, 24 milliequivalent, over our unknown value. We don't know how many milliliters will yield 24 milliequivalents. We will cross multiply and divide. 2 milliequivalent per unknown volume, X milliliters, equals 24 milliequivalent per milliliter, all over I'm going to divide both sides by 2 milliequivalents, and therefore our unknown volume of X milliliters equals 12 milliliters of potassium chloride. And this is what we're going to pull from our dose on hand stock of 20 milliliters. We're going to pull 12 milliliters out of that stock bottle. For our multivitamin, we only need 5 milliliters, but our dose on hand is 10 milliliters. So we're only going to pull 5 milliliters out of that bottle. There's no calculation needed there. And then for our sodium chloride, our dose on hand is 4.4 milliequivalent per milliliter. Set that equal to the dose ordered, 24 milliequivalents once again, per unknown volume. We'll cross multiply. Divide both sides by 4.4 milliequivalents. Our unknown volume of X milliliters equals 5.5 milliliters of our sodium chloride. Lastly, we still must calculate how much sterile water is needed to compound the medication order. So we will add up all of the volumes that we have calculated for our additives and our base solutions of aminosin and dextrose, and we will subtract that from our total volume. $588.2, we'll round that up to the nearest 10th place, ones place, so that'll be 588 plus 250 plus 12 milliliters plus 5.5 equals 855.5. Now, total volume ordered is 1,000 milliliters minus 855.5 equals 144.5 milliliters is needed of our sterile water for injection to solve this medication order. I hope you all were able to follow along this example, and I hope the calculations made sense and they weren't too daunting and you were able to solve them with no problem. Please reach out with any questions or comments if you have an example you want me to work through with you, or you have a problem that you're working on in your test books that you're in your examination prep books that you'll like help with. Be sure to like and subscribe. Till next time.